In activity 3.7, we're looking at the function 1/3 x cubed minus 2x plus 2. And first thing we're going to do is find all the critical values in the interval from -2 to 3. So g prime of x, we have a power rule here. So we have 3/3 x squared minus 2, or just x squared minus 2. If we set that equal to 0, we're going to have critical points, add x squared equals 2, square root both sides, and we're going to have critical points at x equals plus and minus square root of 2. So at about negative 1.41 and positive 1.41. Okay, now we can make a sign chart for this, but we weren't asked to. We're going to actually use the graph to figure out where our mins and maxes are. So here's a graph, and we're going to do from -2 to 3. So 3 is cut off right here. -2 is cut off right here. If we notice, here's our negative square root of 2. Here is square root of 2. And we see we have a relative max and a relative min at those points. But we're asked specifically to identify the absolute max and the absolute min, or the global max and global min. So if we look, the highest point, if we go from -2 to 3, is right here, and appears to happen at x equals 3. So there's our global max. Our global min looks like it's right here, and is at x equals red 2. So there's our global min. So we had a global min at a critical point and a global max at an endpoint in this case. Now what if we only went from -2 to 2? So we're cutting off our graph right here. Now we're only looking at this portion of the graph, so that's off. Our global min is still going to be at square root of 2, but now our global max is over here at negative red 2. So that changed things by changing our endpoints, because we're no longer seeing this part of the graph. We're only seeing from here to here. We're going to do this again in part E. We're going to cut it off at 1 now. And we're only focusing on this part of the graph. The global max is still going to be at negative red 2, but we can see that our global min is now here at 1. So what we're seeing is that the global max and the global min not only depend on the function that we're looking at, but also depend on what our endpoints are, as our answers changed for each interval that we looked at. So our absolute max or absolute min are either going to be at a critical point or at an endpoint if we're on a closed interval.